Yesterday I made a video on an emotional wound that was discovered and experienced during the sleep state that I then remembered when I awoke. I published that this morning and actually it felt pretty good, so I believe I will probably start producing more material and putting it online. Now the reason today is again an audio blog, one might say, is because candidly, I believe I have another emotional wound, probably in the realm of vanity and self-consciousness, but it's not really a big one at this point because of things that I've done, not necessarily of fixing that emotion, but things that I've done where I put myself in a situation where I'm probably a little more comfortable in front of a camera, but generally speaking, I don't like that. But I'm going to graduate, I think, to videos here very soon. So today I thought I would just speak. I could speak on any number of subjects. There's a lot of things I have to share. But I'm just going to choose an independent one, just to get it out there. It's a new agey topic, and it has to do with the concept of spinning. There's a major, relatively major channel, the New Age book by Barbara Marciniak, called The Bringers of the Dawn. And I actually had my, let's call it my Starseed Awakening, one might say, while watching an online video, a 3-hour online video of that book, read. And I almost cried. It was an amazing experience. I felt like that was why I was here. I felt connected to these beings. It was just sublime. I can't even express to you how it made me feel. I felt love, and I felt like, oh, this is why I'm here. So, in the book, towards the end, and also in the video, it references this tactic you can use to increase your vibration, or really to rapidly accelerate the speed at which you can assimilate new information. And it spoke of the spinning routine, where you spin, if you can, 33 times in a row, clockwise, holding your hands out and such. Maybe you've heard of that before, and it seems almost kind of silly, right? It seems like some kind of weird routine that someone just thought up, or just something on your head. Well, I was so struck by the video and the Bringers of the Dawn experience, and I was so motivated, which is another story, a very motivated person, that I said, well, I'm just going to do it immediately, max amount. And they made a reference that if you can work up to 33 times, that's great. Or if you can even do it 3 times a day, 33 times, that would, I think, be the ultimate or something. So I immediately started doing it 3 times 33. The reason I'm sharing all of this is this procedure, I think other people have done it with maybe mixed results. Now, this has not been the case for me. Spinning affects my crown chakra, I feel, and I can control how open or closed my crown chakra is by the amount of spinning that I do. But here, just an interesting anecdote or side note. When I just started doing this, and this is the way that my life has been, if you tune into this channel, you hear a lot of kind of strange, weird things that I've experienced, magical in many ways. This may or may not be one of them, but it's just interesting. And that is, I went online to confirm that I was doing the spinning the right way. I just thought, well, maybe someone did a video on it. And I did a search, I think on YouTube, and there was only like one video I could find on the proper way to do it. And it was someone who looked exactly like Jesus. I mean, I don't know what to say. It's just, looks like a younger guy, but the guy looked like Jesus. I mean, it's just crazy, and I watched him, and okay, that's how you do it. And I think, a year later, I maybe came back and looked for that video, and it wasn't there. I mean, the video was just gone. Maybe it's back there now. But, yeah, so I saw one video on how to do this technique, and it was by this guy who looked literally exactly like Jesus. So I've done this technique pretty much for 3 years straight. Not always 3 times a day, 33, but the reality is it works for me. So I may have an implant, right, in my spirit body or somewhere in my higher dimensional aspect that it affects me and it doesn't affect other people. I mean, the book, I believe, was by the Pleiadians. I believe the Bringers of the Dawn was primarily a Pleiadians type book. So, and I do have a connection, I believe, to the Pleiadians and also to the Arcturians in particular. But anyway, I just want to let you know that it's very, very real for me. So here's what it does. It basically just makes me kind of spacey and kind of high, and I feel like I can access higher aspect information, and I do have that ability. But it definitely works, and it's not belief-based. And here's the reason I say that. After doing it for about 2 years and just having such great experiences, I'm like, let's ramp her up. Forget 3 times 33. And so I think I started doing 3 times 66 for a few days, and even maybe 3 times 99. And the results were really quite bad. I lost total grounding. I literally lost grounding with the earth. And so I had no interest in doing anything, because I wasn't connected to the planet. I didn't feel an urge, to engage in projects, to help people, to do stuff, because it's like my crown chakra was just flared open or something like that. And I'm not saying it was necessarily my crown chakra, but what I'm letting you know is that I actually experimented with different numbers and had different experiences, but very consistently. Like, I know if tomorrow morning I get up and I just start spitting like freaking crazy throughout the day, I'm just going to be totally detached from reality, I mean, not caring about Earth is what I mean by that. I just have all these thoughts. It's like a person who's almost like high in drugs, but my lifestyle is incredibly clean. So anyway, I'm really just kind of sharing this video, or excuse me, this audio, to get more comfortable speaking to people. I'll probably start moving to videos soon. I will let you know that spinning, as described in the book Bringers of the Dawn, did wonderful things for me. I guess I should share that I felt like my IQ almost just was rising, and I was able to assimilate more information and a lot of the New Age information, and I got it, and I understood it, and I can repeat it, and I just got more and more advanced in my understandings. Now, there have been events in the last few months where I'm looking at some new material and trying to reconcile some of that with some of the New Age teachings, the extraterrestrial type teachings. But anyway, that's it. So spinning does work. It has worked for me. And then it's worked fantastically. I mean, I don't want to go into what my life is like too much at this point, but I'm just so many ideas. Nothing really affects me much at all. I'm perfectly healthy, and it's been a wonderful ride. So let me add a note regarding a potential benefit that I may have experienced as a result of the spinning. Within about 6 to 8 weeks of engaging in it daily, one evening, and also at the same time I was starting to think about the Merkaba. I was reading the work of Drunvalo Melchizedek regarding Merkaba and the shape of the Merkaba and some of his very the left-brained way of creating Merkaba and such mentally. Anyway, I went ahead and would often visualize kind of that when I did the spinning. Well, one night I was going to sleep and I felt this buzzing in my body, and I felt like it was my Merkaba or something, and I tried to sort of spin and increase the buzz of it, and I felt it, and then I just went back to sleep. But it was this whirring in my body. Then about a couple weeks later, I felt it again as I was dozing off to sleep, and so I mentally started just making the buzz feeling, you might say, within my body just go faster and faster. I was imagining my Merkaba spinning counter-rotationally. I won't go into the details of that, but basically I said, let's just go max speed. And there's a routine where you control the speed, and I basically said to infinity, and I felt the whirring increase. And what happened was, this was before I went to sleep. It was like as you're falling asleep, but I was not asleep. And what happened was I basically instantly astral projected. I didn't know it was astral projection at the time. I astral projected like through a Stargate almost. Just, I mean, it was a bubbled world or something. I mean, I shot right from my bed to hovering above a moving train over a countryside. And I simply knew somehow that that was outside the city of London. About 20 miles outside the city of London. And I was hovering along about 100 feet above a moving, like, passenger train, commuter train. And so I just thought I'd share that. So I had this amazing astral projection experience. It was instantaneous. I didn't hover. I basically just left my body immediately and shot to the other side of the world. And that was a major experience. And it may or may not have been related to the spinning, but at the time I felt it was. And I do now believe that the reason that I knew where I was because that was Spirit Guide assisted. And the Spirit Guide actually just told me that. So I think the Spirit Guide assisted me to astral project across the world instantaneously, and then the reason I knew where I was because the Spirit Guide simply was telepathically telling me that. Anyway, that's it on spinning. I would personally recommend doing it, since I've had such success. It's up to you. Peace and love to you. Bye-bye.